Hi guys. I'm really excited because this is like the biggest live crowd I ever had during one of the packages talks. So yeah, let me start with the story for you. So the official title goes introducing SAS packages, a modern code sharing medium for SAS. So I'm Bart, and just before I go with the presentation, okay? So as you already heard, I'm not a native speaker, okay? My first language is Polish. My second language is SAS. Then there are a few other, and then it's English. So please be gentle on me, okay? So whenever I say something which sounds weird, bizarre, right? I always meant positive. So whenever I say, okay, something like, oh, this is a bad sheet. I mean, this is a bad spreadsheet, not bad bullshit, right? And we all know that the bad spreadsheet happens all the time, right? It's just Excel, right? So be gentle on me. Okay, so who am I to talk about SAS and SAS packages? So yeah, Bart, that's the way you can call me. It's easier to pronounce than Bartosz, and it's easier to remember because Bart, like the Simpson guy, right? So yeah, I'm SASing since 2009, and SAS 9 was also my first SAS. So you can say I'm pretty young among SASer, but I did a lot of over hours, so I gained some experience with that. By day, I'm working as a consultant. Jabłon is my company. I'm working as an independent consultant for Takeda, and I want to say thank you to my manager who allowed me to be here, right, Matt. And by night, I'm teaching SAS classes at the Warsaw University of the Technology. I've got a group of very talented young people who want to learn this stuff. I'm pushing them a lot, but they're doing the best to become the best SAS programmer they can do. And in the free time, I'm a member of Polish SAS user group, and I'm engaged in the all-around SAS stuff happening. We are polishing our SAS skills in Poland, right? And I'm a SAS geek to the level that whoever of you was here yesterday, you heard it, right? So when my wife wants to convince me to do something, she says, data null, go to, do the dishes, run. Yeah, and then I say, honey, do not use go-to. It's bad programming practice. And she said, she's saying, don't be smart as go do the dishes, right? And yeah, so that's me. And okay, so what's the plan for the presentation? So I'm mathematician by train, and mathematicians like to formulate conjectures, give a proof of that conjecture, and then make it a theorem. So today I try to go with this drive. So my conjecture is the following. I'm saying that introducing a code sharing culture based on packages can elevate SAS community to the next level. But how I'm going to go with the proof? So that's the sketch of the proof. So I'm going to tell you what's those packages all about, which tools you need to work with them, and I will try to give some advocacy about the fact that they can really help you and make your code sharing a better thing. My good friend told me once that when you are doing a mathematical presentation, there should be a proof and a joke. And it's clear, you have to be very clear what is a proof and what is a joke. So now I try to figure out the most corny daddy joke I could figure out for the presentation. And since we are in Texas, so the joke goes like this. When the first Americans came to Texas, Chuck Norris was already ranger there. So that's the joke, and now I try to go with the proof, okay? So the prologue to the story. There's the subtitle, Competitive Advantage Lost. And now, side note, together with Susan, we have to struggle a lot through this presentation because SAS folks, the legal, or how we can call them, they told us that I cannot use a bunch of pictures which I wanted to use, so I had to draw them by hand. So some of these pictures might be graphical, but sorry for that. Okay, so competitive advantage lost. What I mean by that? You remember the scene from Jerry Maguire where Tom Cruise was calling to Cuba Gooding and was shouting, show me the money, right? And money is the thing. in every internet argument about SAS versus some other programming languages, there's this argument, SAS, you have to pay for it, and the other are free, and you don't have to pay for it, and they are open source, and like, first bullshit is that open source doesn't mean free, right? And the other thing is, in the enterprise level, like big companies, there's not such thing as a free software. With SAS, you pay for the tool, but you've got a group of people who support you with the tool. With the other so-called open source stuff, you get the tool for free, but you have to pay for the guys who will do it for you, right? So basically, at the end of the day, you always have to pay, just in the different spots. So I claim that this is not the key competitive advantage that those tools have. The thing I'd say is the competitive advantage lost is do you remember this short movie from the 90s where Steve Ballmer at one of the Microsoft conferences was shouting, developers, develop, you know, blue shirt, sweat here, and developers, developers, developers. And that's the thing. I'd say that's the thing, because our community, Python community, they've got this natural, like in DNA imprinted way of sharing, that whenever they figure out some smart code, some smart solutions, a smart algorithm, then encapsulate it in a package, put it on the repository, and then share with other people, right? In our SAS community, we don't have this, how to say, saying that we don't have that culture is too strong, but we don't have this custom to share this stuff this way. And you may say, okay, Bart, but there's a SAS guys in SAS Institute who are doing this stuff for us. And then I say, okay, two arguments against that. First one, you remember Jack Nicholson in the Batman from 1989, Tim Burton's Batman? He was sitting there in his room, cutting off the pictures and saying, so much to do, so little time, so much to do, so little time. And the guys in SAS, they have only limited resources. There's finite amount of that's the proper phrasing, finite amount of people who can develop and work with this stuff, and there's huge crowd of people around in community who can also contribute. So it's like, first argument, SAS is understaffed in the sense that they do their job, but there's a lot of stuff to do also, so community can help. And there is the other thing, there are juniors, right? You can do a lot of stuff in SAS. Some of the things are a bit of complicated to do it, right? So maybe you as a senior programmer are able to create a tool which will help juniors to go through the beginning, right? To go through the hard part, right? So I'd say, first of all, community can give like more hands on the job, and also we can make life of less experienced programmers easier with the tools encapsulated in form of packages. So that's the thing. And now, before I go to details, a little historical note, because okay, this is my first Innovate, so I should, you know, take my other T-shirt with Madonna like a virgin and play the song, right? But my wife says, no way, so I'm not going to do it. So historical note goes like this. So it all started just before SGF 2020. When I get back from Dallas from 2019, I was like, I need to figure out something which gives me a presentation at 2020 in Washington. Yeah? So I started thinking, I talked with my friends from the Citibank, because I was working in the Citibank back there, and I was like, I need to figure out something which will be good tool for developers, for users, which can allows them to work together, cooperate, and I figured out that maybe this thing, the packages, which I bluntly steal from the idea, I steal bluntly the idea from art, Picasso. He said that good artist copies, great artist steals. Right? So I basically stole the idea for packages from R, and I'm not ashamed to admit that. So I wanted to create a tool which will allow to easy and comfortable cooperation between developers and users that will help share. And so I came up with this idea of SAS packages. And you see there is a wolf and the sheep. right over there. And this is because of this very old Polish saying, which goes, wilk jest syty I owca cała. This phrase means that you are able to create, whenever there are two parties conflicted or whatever, you are able to figure out a solution that will be satisfying for both parties. In English, you just say win-win situation, right? But yeah, in Polish, literal translation of the phrase in Polish is wolf is settled and the sheep is whole. So I wanted packages to be a tool which combines the interest of users and developers. So that's why there is a wolf and a sheep. And one historical, not historical, but clarification note, because you might be thinking, okay, wolf and the sheep, so who is the wolf, who is the sheep, right? So you may think, okay, so developers are the wolves, because there's this old meme saying that there are two wolves in each developer, the one wolf who hates when there is no documentation, and the other who hates write documentation. But no, that's not this way. Oh, by the way, here are the links below every picture, also those previous ones, there are links to the original ones, so if you want to jump and see the source, which those, they did not allow us to use here. So, but yeah, that's not the developer. There are two wolves in user too. The first, when code is working, and the other when code does not work. So, when we are clear about users, so why the developer is a sheep? Okay, so I went to SAS webpage, this official SAS documentation page. SAS software is shipped, so that's why we are going with ships. So we're going to sit on this boat and sail with the idea. Okay, so packages and the framework, what they are. So you remember this, the logo, you know this two hooks and SAS and the power to know. So I don't know when, Chris, maybe you will be able to help me. How old is it? Like 20 years? Yeah, so when I started my SAS adventure, the phrase, the power to know was already there. So SAS is the power to know. And I'm claiming that SAS packages is the way to share. So that's, by the way, the official logo of the framework and all the SAS package idea. So you can see there's a wolf and sheep, but they are looking in the same direction, so they want to cooperate. So what is a package? So that's like a formal definition. There's this little footnote here, because word package pops up in SAS ecosystem in multiple places, right? So there are proc IML packages, and in fact, I think it was Rick who set them up. So the IML packages are the closest to the idea I'm having here. So you can find them there. In the proc DS2, you can find packages. There are SAS ODS packages. It's called SAS Integration Technologies Publishing Framework, and it also has packages. And even if you look at Enterprise Guide project file, it's kind of like a package I'm going to talk about. So the word package pops up in different places, but the one I'm talking about it's something new. So what's a package? Automatically generated single standalone zip file containing organized and ordered code structures. Developer creates it. Framework adds a bunch of driving files to keep it organized, and then user can go and have a simple and easy to access code sharing medium. So on the one side, developer keeps all the complexity wrapped up inside a single file, and on the other hand, user don't have any problems with just taking the file, loading to SAS session, and playing with the content. So that's the idea for the package. And what's the SAS Packages Framework? Well, SAS Packages Framework, it's a pack of macros which facilitates the process. So there are three groups of macros. One group is a group of macros dedicated for using packages. There are two macros dedicated for creating packages, and there are a few like utility macros which help with all this process. What's important about the SAS Packages Framework is that it is 100% SAS written. It's open sourced. In its MIT license code, so we can take it, play it with it, you can see everything what's inside, and you need no third-party tools to use the framework to build and to use packages. And With that said, you might ask, why yet another tool? We have SAS Autos, we have compiled catalogs. So let me give you a few reasons why it's good, in my opinion, why it's a good idea to go this path. So first of all, both SAS Autos and compiled catalogs, they are mainly focused on macros. Catalogs also on formats, but basically we are limited to those two types of code. With packages, you can embed their code for macros, for formats, as in those two first, but also for user-defined functions, for formats and informats, for IML modules, for data, for DS2 and CAS-L via, right? CAS-L code, and much more. So not only macros, not only formats, much more stuff you can embed inside the package. In contrary to compiled catalogs, you can share packages between different operating systems. The only operating system I cannot say is supported is mainframe, because I don't have mainframe at hand to test it. But now Linux, Unix, Windows packages works on all of them. And because the source code is inside the package, you will never lose your source code like you can do with catalogs. With SAS Autos, package, a single file, contains everything you need to work. So everything that developer want to share with you is in single file. So you won't forget about one of 23 other files, right, that had to be shared through SAS Autos. You have one single file. And when you load the package to your session, it's ordered, the loading process is ordered the way the developer wants it to be. So there will be no situation when you are, as a user, complaining to the developer that it's not working just because you loaded in the wrong order, right? In contrary to, because in SAS Autos you have a plain files, right? A package is a bundle of codes, and it has attributes like a version number. You can verify the SH256 digest of the file, so you can be sure that the file was not modified by anyone. There's a timestamp of package creation, so you've got version control over the code, right? So even if someone opened the zip, mess up with the code, and zip it up again, you will be able to figure out that someone was messing up with the code. There is a feature which allows you to read the documentation attached to the package, of course, if developer creates the documentation. But we are good developers, and we are creating documentation, right? Who is good developer? Yeah, so they allows you to get the help notes inside your SAS session log. So even if you don't have internet access, you still can get the documentation for you. And next one, it works with all SASs you can imagine. It works on local PC SAS. It will work on SAS server. It will work on SAS VIA. So not only the blue team, but also the pink team works. And even it works on SAS Workbench with VS Code. And it has like one extra feature because VS Code can display documentation in a very nice way. Yeah, so these are like first 6 out of 20. I think 21 I've provided in this paper. It's called Use of SAS Packages in any industry, opportunities, possibilities, and benefits. And I'm giving there like more examples why it's good to go this way. Here's the link. If you get the slides, you can just click on that link and it will take you to the paper. And if you are lazy for reading the paper, you can always read watch the recording I did for a SAS Japan group last September. Title is in Japanese, but I'm talking in English, so you'll be able to get it. So I'm repeating the reasons just in the form of a video. Yeah, I will have the same shirt tomorrow on the brain date, right? Because this session is like more general level kind, but tomorrow I have a brand date session for details for technical aspects of the game. Okay, so there is a user and there is a developer, right? So we already know who is who, so let me give you a brief overview how the process of using or developing packages looks like depending on which side you are. So let's start with the user. And both sides, there are 3 steps. So the first step is called files and folders. And basically, in the first step, you set up yourself a directory where you want to store SAS Packages Framework and the packages you want to use. And you assign a file ref to that location, and that file ref, that's the only formal requirement, has to be named packages, because the framework internally used the reference to that file ref. And you need to install the framework. There's a little asterisk over there. I will get back to that asterisk at the very end of the presentation during the epilogue part. So that's the first step. Second step, you run some code. So what does this code do? So those 2 first lines, they basically say, okay, here I'm going to keep my packages, that's the reference, and then I'm going to pick up the spf init.sas, which is the file which contains the framework, right? And when the framework is enabled, so those 17 macros are compiled in your SAS session, then you can play with packages. And you can install package. There is an official public open source repository of packages, which is called SAS Pack. I will talk about it in a minute. But basically, you can install packages from that repository. And when you have a package on your computer, you can read the help note. You can verify package authenticity. You can preview the source code of the package. And then when you're happy with what you saw, you can load package with the load package macro. You basically run %load package and the package name. This picks up the content of the package, compiles it into your session. You just read the log to see how the process of loading went, and you are ready to go. You can enjoy the content of the package, right? So that's the user side. The developer side, very similar. Also 3 steps. The first one called files and folders. So you set yourself a location for the framework. Again, the same asterisk, which I'm going to mention later. Then you want to create a package. So you create a directory where you want to put the source code of your package. And the third sub-step in the first step is prepare package files and the description. And this is the job that you as a developer need to do. So basically, in this point, you are creating all the source code you want to embed into a package, right? So this is the place where you show your creativity, basically. You create the help notes and stuff like that. And when you're ready with this step, then you start running the code. So first 2 lines are exactly the same as the user session. So you're pointing where the framework is. You loaded the framework to your session, and then you run the macro named generate package, and you point to the location where the source code is located. And basically, framework picks up the source, wrap it up into a package, and at the end of the process, you've got the log and the summary. So both output window and the log window is worth to check. You can see if your tests, if you did any. We are good developers. We are not only writing documentation, but we also do the tests, right? Yeah, exactly, right? And then when you're happy with the results you get from tests and from the summary and the log, you basically share the package. So that's how you do it when you are. Oh, by the way, I forgot about it. Sorry for this. Here at the top of every slide there is a word in Polish, which basically means, which basically reflects what I'm showing on the slide. So if you go through the slides later, you can learn some Polish words. So twórca means creator. It's not one-to-one with developer, but you can get it. Okay, so locations, where you can find all that stuff. So first location is called the location for SAS Packages Framework, right? So you go to GitHub, then you go to this location, Jabłon, that's my nickname, that's the name of my company, and basically that's my GitHub user. You go there, there is subdirectory named SAS_packages, and the framework, SAS Packages Framework, so the tool which you need to build or use packages is there. Just wait with the making photos. Wait with the photos. I've got a nice slide for summary. Okay, so I'm giving you general overview. You want to learn more. You want to learn how to use and build packages. There are 4+ hour materials, workshops, which I did on WUS, CSAC, and PharmaSac. Maybe on Innovate next year. So the same GitHub account, and then subdirectory HOW, like hands-on workshop -SAS packages. So these are like training materials from 0 to hero. right? You never saw a package at the beginning, and at the end, you are a professional SAS Packages developer. That's the second place. The third one, SAS Packages Archive. So there's basically GitHub organization named SAS Pack, where there is a bunch of publicly open source, publicly available open source packages you can use and play with them. Several people contributing. And there's one more, which came from the very unexpected direction. So there is a group of people in Japan who working under Fuse open source technology working group, Hiroki, Yutaka, and Ryu, and they set up repository of packages dedicated for pharmaceutical industry. It's called Pharma Forest. They've got like 40-something packages there. Definitely check it out. Really nice thing. And yeah, the photo. You can make a photo of this slide because these are QR codes pointing you to the location. So the one on the left, the archive, the one on the right, framework. You see there is a wolf for users, there is a sheep for developers, and here the training materials for both users and developers, right? So if you use those QR codes, you can go directly to these locations. Okay, so the epilogue. Because as I said, today is a general overview. Tomorrow we can go into details during the brain day. Okay. So how it's going, where are we with this project? Okay, imagine two healthy athletes, like let's say football player and UFC fighter, right? Imagine something like this, right? And then there's a little soccer player named David Beckham. Be honest, Bart. Okay? Yeah, okay. Be honest. Okay, so we are here. We're starting. The idea for the framework started in 2019, late 2019, early 2020, and we are growing, we are developing. In our community, there's the phrase going like this: R packages inferno. There is so many packages in R. CRAN has more than 20,000, so you can be lost between what's happening. So R packages inferno. We are collecting wood for fire camp now, right? So we are just beginning. So how could you help with this? So how could you help with expanding our community? So to grow, SAS Packages needs your endorsement, your support, your promotion. And what are the rules of engagement for this game? Oh, it's loading. Why it's loading? Oh, because we couldn't use YouTube video with Brad Pitt counting the Fight Club rules of engagement. Let me do it for you, okay? So the first rule of SAS Packages Framework is you talk about SAS Packages. The second rule is you talk about SAS Packages. Show it to your colleagues, show it to your manager, show it to your friends, play with it, talk about it. If you have free time, learn how to build packages, share your ideas through packages with other people. If you don't have time, visit SAS Pack, visit Pharma Forest, play with what is already there, share your feedback, your observations, your bug reports, right? Anyways, go to the location of the SAS Packages Framework, log in to the GitHub and give us a star. The more stars we have, the more visible we will be, because GitHub counts them and show people the repo, so more people can learn about it. Join SPATS, SAS Packages Users and Developers Group on LinkedIn. There's a little group we have there. Those guys from Japan started it, and we are sharing various news about SAS Packages on that group. Eventually, at the SAS communities webpage, there is this chapter about program suggestions. I set one there. It's called Add SAS Packages Framework to Base SAS or VIA. I did it in 2020. And you cannot see it here. I hide it just not to get bad luck. But we are. This is the most upvoted product suggestion in the history of the list. I've like twice the number. Remember the slides with the kids, right? So upvote if you think that this idea is worth encapsulating into the SaaS ecosystem. You know, that those two asterisks I was mentioning about earlier, that's the thing. And the final rule, you remember how was it in the movie, right? If this is the first time you're hearing about SaaS packages, you have to build one. Okay, guys, so one of my favorite actors, Samuel L. Jackson, we have to make this slide very, very gentle, right? But you can imagine what he was saying directly, right? Say SaaS package again, say SaaS package, I dare you, I double dare you, blah, 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 blah. Say SaaS packages one more time. You heard a lot of it, but I hope that it convinces you that this is the good way, the good direction. And my favorite Polish satiric comic cartoonist drew this picture, which I had to redraw myself. I hope that this story won't go like this, but at some point, at the cover of the very prominent magazine, you will see that very prominent SaaS person will say, SaaS packages is the way to share. You can guess who's that under the mustache and glasses, right? So I hope I convince you to check out this road. If you want to learn more about technical details, tomorrow there's a brain date session. Don't worry if there is no place in the app, because in theory there's up to 5 people in the session. But today we had SaaS 9 session and there was like 10 of us during the session. So, you know, ignore the app, just get there if you want. And if you want to contact me, learn more about it, there's a QR code pointing to my GitHub. There's QR code pointing to my LinkedIn. Mail me, contact me. Dziękuję bardzo means thank you very much. I hope you like it. That's all.
All right, we have plenty of time for questions. Any questions for Bart? Oh, how easy.
Yeah, so I write SAS code and I do it while I'm working. So I think my company owns my code. And so I have a cool thing I'd like to make a package, but it's not really mine. Wondering about that.
Okay, so first of all, there is this SaaS instance called SODA, SaaS on Demand for Academics. So even if in theory it's for academics, but you can register, you can log in there, and you can use that SaaS session to write your code after hours, okay. And then you can share the package. You know, yeah, finding loopholes in the different setups, it's my thing, so.
Imagine that. Any other questions? Oh.
Okay.
I was just going to say in response to what you just said, you know, a lot of times when people give presentations at conferences like this, they'll show, you know, at least code snippets and stuff. And so companies seem to be willing to at least, you know, share some code. So maybe, you know, if your company's willing to allow you to share, you know, presentation code, that maybe they'd allow you to share a package as well.
Yeah, just to encourage you in Takeda, because I'm working for Takeda, now we are in this path of creating not SOP, but like way of publishing our code publicly as packages, because there's a few people inside Takeda who want to build packages and we want to share our code. So it's not like you think about it. There's few other people, so maybe your company will allow you to go this way. Oh, by the way, I forgot about one thing. Luis, do you have got the counter? Okay, don't say it aloud. Okay, guys, so little content for the end. Okay. Who can guess how many times I said SaaS packages during this presentation will get this extra candies? Any volunteers to? 111. 21. 101. 45. 78. 90. Luis? What's the number? Hold on, wait. 112. Who said 111? Okay, so.
And I'll give you a package on your mailing.
Okay.
Just curious how the pharma forest people, how did you guys find each other and what is,
Okay,
is
so-
there stuff, is it easy to share back and forth? Is there stuff?
One of those guys, Ryu, he's working in Takeda, and basically we I don't remember how we crossed our paths, but basically one day we were talking about something, and the other day we start talking about packages, and then he came up with the idea. Oh, me and those other guys, we set up this pharma forest. Would you like to check it out? And I was like, whoa! I didn't expect that direction. Yeah, so.
Any more questions?
Don't be shy. Don't be shy.
Okay, let's show our appreciation.
Thank
for
you very
Bart
much.
one more time.